Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Sherlock. Last time on Sherlock, we had The Sign of Three. It was John and Mary's wedding day, and Sherlock had to give the best man speech at the reception. And he was going on about, stories about him and John, and hijinks and mysteries that they have solved, and it was all nice and interesting. But then he realized that some of his cases with John were actually intersecting, and eventually intersected to the wedding itself. And then they saved a life after Sherlock solved a mystery during the best man speech, which was pretty cool. I am picking at my beard. Sorry about that. Ow. Sometimes you just catch yourself picking at your beard. It's a little weird, but it happens. Anywho, we are moving on into the season 3 finale here for Sherlock. We're almost through. Again, I love Sherlock, but these long episodes are a bit of a killer. But it's okay, because it's always okay, because Sherlock is such a great show. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much that, actually. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever, and we might as well get right into this episode of Sherlock. Here we go.
I notice you've had 7 meetings at Downing Street.
Is that Adelaide from Doctor Who? Pressure
Were the
point.
Prime Minister's thinking in any way?
Tuh. Man, those are some pretty good glasses.
Are you sure?
Husband.
I have an excellent memory.
This guy's voice. Ugh! I'm threatened by his goatee. Which is weird, I have a full beard.
In 1982, your husband corresponded with Ellen Catherine Driscoll.
Oh, he does have a full beard. Shit, I'm more threatened.
Loving.
So she can't do anything. The hell?
There isn't a man or woman in England capable of stopping that disgusting creature.
Oh, isn't there?
Mom? Turn the car around. We're going back into town. Turn around.
Where are we going, Mom?
Say it.
Baker Street.
Yes! Oh, that's awesome.
Go. Or I'll cut you. Oh, not from there.
Yeah.
Let me help.
Tuh. Woo. Woo.
Right. Are you concentrating yet?
Damn.
Broke my arm. It's a sprain. I'm a doctor. I know how to sprain people. Now where?
I know how to sprain people. Man, a soldier-doctor combination is probably the best for combat.
Oh, hello, John. Didn't expect to see you here.
Sherlock.
Come for me too.
Why not?
Hello, Isaac.
Somebody hit me.
Huh?
Just some guy.
Yeah, it's probably just an addict in need of a fix.
Yeah,
Yes, I think in a way it was.
in a way.
Is it a shirt?
Excellent news, the best. There's every chance that my drug habit might hit the newspapers. The game is on. Excuse me.
This is for a case. He wants this to happen.
And our parents, of course, in Oklahoma.
Tuh.
It'll be the first time that your substance abuse has wreaked havoc with their line dancing.
His parents are in Oklahoma.
Do you think this is for a case?
Could have gone to a better place, honestly.
Magnussen. Charles Augustus Magnussen.
I suspected Mycroft would have to know about
That
him.
name you think you may have just heard. You were mistaken. If you ever mention hearing that name in this room, in this context, I guarantee you, on behalf of the British Security Services, the materials will be found on your computer hard drives, resulting in your immediate incarceration. Don't reply, just look frightened and scuttle.
Yeah. Scuttling.
I hope you may consider him under my protection.
I consider you under
Protection.
If you go against Magnussen, then you will find yourself going against me.
Oh,
Okay, I'll
shit.
let you know if I notice.
Oh, John, hi. How are you?
Janine?
Sorry.
Oh.
Has everybody gone? I heard shouting.
Yes, they're gone.
Tuh.
Look at the time. I'll be late.
I've dealt with murderers, psychopaths, terrorists, serial killers. None of them can turn my stomach like Charles Augustus Magnussen.
Yes, you have.
Sorry, what?
You have a girlfriend.
What? Yes, I'm going out with Janine. I thought that was fairly obvious.
Yes.
Tuh.
Well, yes.
You've never had a girlfriend.
But, I mean, are you...
An unassailable architecture of forbidden knowledge.
Well,
Its name is Appledore.
Dinner.
Sorry, what, dinner?
oh my
Being
gosh,
married,
John.
for-
I can vouch for this man. He is a doctor. If you know who I am, then you know who he is.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't you, Mr. Magnussen?
Huh. Alright, let's meet the villain.
Understood we were meeting at your office.
You can do what you like here. No one's ever gonna stop you. A nation of herbivores.
Is he peeing on the fireplace?
I've interests all over the world, but
Just because he can do anything?
everything starts in England.
Sherlock, you complete loon. What are you doing?
Hang on, was that...
Hi, Janine.
Is it Janine?
I can't. You know I can't. Don't be silly.
Is this why he has a girlfriend?
She loves you.
Yes, like I said, human error.
Wow. Too good to be true.
That's not Lady Smallwood, Mr. Holmes.
Oh. Wait, Barry?
Oh, Sherlock, if you take one more step, I swear I will kill you.
No, Mrs. Watson. You won't.
It's all well and clever having a mind palace, but you've only 3 seconds of consciousness left to use it. So come on.
Okay.
What's going to kill you?
He's using his mind palace.
Exactly. Gravity's working for us. Fall now.
Alright. Going back. That is impressive.
You
Don't tell me.
never felt pain, did you?
Yeah.
Why did you never feel pain?
You always feel it, Sherlock.
But you don't have to fear it.
Freaking Moriarty. This is the craziest scene of getting shot.
That wife.
You're letting him down, Sherlock. John Watson is
Come on.
definitely in danger.
He's getting up. Come on. Gotta help John.
You're in big trouble.
Really? Why?
His first word when he woke up. Mary.
I'm pretty sure this was all a setup. Duh. You know? There's no way that she's actually evil. It's all part of Magnussen's plan.
Sherlock Holmes, you are a backstabbing, heartless, manipulative bastard.
Yeah.
You, as it turns out, are a grasping, opportunistic, publicity-hungry tabloid whore.
So we're good then.
Yeah, of course.
Yay.
It's an old enough technique known to the kinds of people who can recognize a skip code on sight.
At first I thought it was just a Bible thing, spam, but it's not. It's a skip code.
Okay.
Extraordinarily
Shit.
retentive memories. The distance of 6 feet, you failed to make a kill shot. Not that obvious a trick.
That was John?
Oh, that silly old thing. You mustn't read that. Mathematics has seemed terribly fatuous now.
She was a mathematician.
Gave it all up for children. I could never bear to argue with her. I'm something of a moron myself. But she's unbelievably hot.
Oh my god.
Aww.
You're the sane one, aren't you?
Aren't you?
Sane one of the family.
You are addicted to a certain lifestyle. You're abnormally attracted to dangerous situations and people. So, is it truly Such a surprise that the woman you fall in love with conforms to that pattern.
But she wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah. He didn't think. He didn't know that.
Why is she like that?
So that's what you were, an assassin. How could I not see that?
You did see that. And you married me. Because he's right. It's what you like.
The problems of your past are your business. The problems of your future are my privilege.
Aww.
That's all I have to say. That's all I need to know. No, I didn't read it.
I mean...
You don't even know my name.
Is Mary Watson good enough for you?
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
It was good enough for me too.
Took him a few months, but he got there. Good for him.
A necessary evil, not a dragon for you to slay.
So,
A dragon slayer. Is that what you think of me?
No. It's what you think of yourself.
he's got his ethics.
No. It's Mycroft.
It's Mycroft.
How does it work? Built-in flash drive? 4G wireless?
Only works on him.
Just ordinary spectacles.
Yes. They are.
Oh. It's his eyes.
And what are you giving me for Christmas, Mr. Holmes?
My brother.
Ooh, boy. Isn't this what happened in season 2?
Did you bring your gun as I suggested?
Why would I bring my gun to your parents' house for Christmas dinner?
Is it in your coat?
Yes.
Off we go then.
Where are we going?
Oh, it was you.
Yes,
So-
of course. But look how you care about John Watson.
Pressure point.
Damsel in distress.
I want everything you've got on Mary.
It's all in his head, isn't it?
They're all in here. The Appledore Vaults.
Yeah.
Are my mind palace.
His mind
You know
palace.
Mind palaces, don't you, Sherlock? Lean forward a bit and stick your face out. Please. Now, can I flick it?
I mean, so can you not just kill him?
Your face. I know where to find people who hate her.
Oh my gosh.
I could phone them right now.
Does anyone
and
else know
tear
this
her
though?
Life down. And I will. Unless you let me flick your face.
If it's just in his mind palace, kill him.
Sherlock, what do we do?
Nothing. There's nothing to be done. Oh, I'm not a villain.
He,
I have no evil plan.
you know, he made sure John brought his gun.
I'm a high-functioning sociopath. Merry Christmas!
Oh!
Get away from me, John! Stay well back! Christ, Sherlock!
Yeah.
Give my love to Mary.
Well, we're not doing this again.
Tell her she's safe now.
She is. It's one thing the guy didn't think of.
You will look after him for me, won't you?
Don't worry. I'll keep him in trouble.
So,
That's my girl.
is he being exiled?
William Sherlock Scott Holmes.
Sorry?
Huh.
That's the whole of it. If you're looking for baby names.
William Sherlock Scott Holmes. There's more.
And Mycroft?
But that's not possible. That is simply not possible.
Moriarty?
He needs me this time.
Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did you
Ah.
miss me? Did you miss me?
So how can he be back?
Well, if he is, You'd better wrap up warm.
Oh.
There's an east wind coming.
Guess who's back? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's back. He's back. Oh, he's back. That... I mean, I'm sort of glad that, like, we don't have to go through the same thing of, like, oh, how's Sherlock gonna come back? You know? We don't have to go through that again, because we did that last season, you know? Sherlock's gone, we know he's gotta come back, so how is he gonna come back? It's like, this time it's like, you know what? Let's just move on. Oh... Oh, he's back. Moriarty is back. Somehow, he's back. Okay. He's back. He's back. Oh, man. Oh, why? How? How is he back? He blew his brains out. Oh. I mean, I guess he'll be a better... He'll be a little bit better than Magnussen. You know, as interesting as Magnussen was for this season, I guess as the overarching villain of the season, it kind of sucked. Like he, because, you know, he thought through everything, but then at the end it's like, well, he's really just, he's just a prick. He's really just a prick, you know? He's really just a prick, and, you know... And then he didn't think, hey, maybe Sherlock will just up and kill me, you know? He's just a prick, basically. He really is. He's just a prick. Oh. Okay, I guess we ought to go into the notes. The first thing I wrote down was Magnussen. An interesting character, you know? He is, as they describe here, the Napoleon of blackmail. You know, it does make sense, you know? It's an interesting villain, you know? This guy, he has everything on everyone, basically. So that's how he's in control, basically. Even over Mycroft. He's even good over Mycroft, because, which, you know, it's not even just blackmail, just sometimes just leverage, you know? For Mycroft, it's Sherlock. For Sherlock, it's John. For John, it's Mary. You get to Mary, you get to Mycroft. So it is interesting, you know? Just a character who's, you know, incredibly, you know, threatening just because he just has leverage. He has leverage, he has dirt, you know? It's just, he just has everything, basically. Excuse me. So, again, it is definitely interesting. I do like it, but he is such a prick, you know? I hate it when it's like, oh, you just can't do anything, you know? But that's the thing, it's like, as he was, you know, just flicking John's face, it's like, so if it's all just in here, you could just kill him and the problem is solved. But, yeah, that means one of them has to murder him, you know, which is serious, you know? So... I wrote down drugs. That was interesting. Sherlock going undercover, which he was originally going to do that. The reason he was doing that was because he wanted there to be dirt on him, basically, because he wanted to get to Magnussen. So that was kind of interesting, I have to say. Mycroft, we talked about that, the fact that he even has dirt on Mycroft, which is just crazy. But this also does highlight, this also highlights the whole thing of, the fact that Sherlock can do a lot of things that Mycroft can't, Like, Sherlock can, even though technically for a little bit it was going to cost him, it was going to cost him, like, he can just kill him, He can do that. It's not the preferred option, but he can do some of these things that Mycroft can't, He can try to go against Magnussen, whereas Mycroft can't. Which is, it's interesting. It shows, because they make such note that Mycroft is so much smarter than Sherlock, but what Sherlock uses his knowledge for allows him to do more than Mycroft, basically, which is interesting. I wrote down the girlfriend. What was her name? Was it Janie? I think that was it. Yeah, she was interesting. It was, it's a great twist of, it's a great twist of, oh, Sherlock actually has a girlfriend. Like, well, what happened to, the woman, And then it turns out, oh, it was all a ruse so that he could get to Magnussen. Which, at that point, is like, okay, that feels more like Sherlock, Like, this was all just a way... It was... Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so tired. Sorry. It was a means to an end, which makes a lot of sense. It was a means to an end, which I do actually like. And it makes the most sense for him, especially after, we dedicated an entire episode to practically do his love life, basically, with him and the woman. So it makes sense that, this was all just a ruse. Although I will say I did like her revenge on him, I thought was really funny. And the fact that it's like, which, okay, I gotta go back. And I gotta see what that was all about. Let's see. No, it was back here. Yeah.
So we're good then?
Yeah, of course.
Tuh.
Where's the cottage?
Sussex Downs. It's gorgeous. There's beehives, but I'm getting rid of those. Oh, hurts, does it? We want to restart your morphine. I might have fiddled with the taps.
Tuh.
Revenge you're gonna need.
Just the occasional top up. Dream come true for you, this place. Actually attach the drugs to you.
Not good for working.
You won't. I made a lot of money out of you, mister. Nothing hits the spot like revenge or profits.
Little stories of Magnussen, did you?
God, no.
Okay, so she just wanted... Technically, she wanted dirt on him, too. It's just that she was doing all that for the tabloids. That wasn't for Magnussen. So that was good. Which they did say, he runs a newspaper, basically. He said multiple times, I don't deal in facts, I deal in the news. So that's why, even that was also dangerous. That, he could expose everything because he runs a newspaper, basically. Let's see. Oh, I wrote down, alright, the bullet. The whole thing of Sherlock getting shot. So, that whole scene was really cool, actually. Him, working through, in the span of 3 seconds, working through everything in order to figure out, that he needed to fall backwards, basically. I like that. And him, going through, all the people in his mind talking to him, Molly was there, Mycroft was there. So, that was really cool. Just allowing him, just the fact that that's how fast he can think, that it's like, all right, you have 3 seconds before you're going down. You need to pick which side you're falling on, basically. So, yeah, I did like that. All right, huge plot twist. Mary is an assassin. Okay, Mary is an assassin who I can only assume has given up the life, So she is an assassin, and Magnussen had dirt on her, which, go all the way through. You eventually can use that to get to Mycroft. So, but she went there to kill him when Sherlock showed up, So if the two of them weren't there, for whatever reason they weren't there, she could have just killed him and then left. And then that would be the end of it, basically. Which is interesting. That is interesting, it's all, screwed up by the fact that they did show up and she couldn't then just kill him, basically, That entire plot twist that she is an assassin. Now, that's the thing is that, okay, she's an assassin. She, she has this completely alternate identity, basically. But everything with John, and, he has an addiction to danger. He was a soldier. His best friend is a sociopath that solves crimes. So naturally, he married a former assassin, but the thing is, to him, until that moment, she was normal. It's like, what exactly was the danger that attracted him to her, is my question. But that's the thing, is we didn't see that, because it skipped over the 2 years in order to, it skipped over those 2 years, and then, they're engaged, basically. So, but yeah, I suppose it does make sense. Now, the whole thing with, it's like, oh, she lied about who she was, she's not just this nice girl, she's an assassin and everything. It's like, yes, that does suck that, she lied to you and, she wasn't being honest with you and everything. And, seeing, and this whole thing with Magnussen, like, if that was revealed without all this Magnussen stuff, it probably wouldn't have been as big of an impact on John. It's the fact that this all leads to, Magnussen has dirt on her and, get all the way to Mycroft, and she actually tried to murder him, tried to assassinate him. That is probably why it hit a lot more, basically, with John. And I do like that they say it was months of silence. They stayed together, but there was months of silence between the two of them until Christmas, when he finally was like, all right, your past is your past. Your future, that I can help, Oy. Woo. That was a big one. Oh. I'm okay. I don't know why, I felt it and it came. Oh. But yeah, so it took him a while, which I do like, it took him a while to come around and just fully accept her, which I like. So that was pretty good. And, saying like, everything, your past is your past, which makes a lot of sense for the soldier to say that, It's just that right in that moment, it was just very, very tense, with everything about Magnussen. So, I wrote down MI6, Sherlock was asked to be a part of MI6 to solve some crimes in Eastern Europe, which he didn't want to do, and it was likely to get him killed, which Mycroft didn't even want that, because he even, without the brotherly sentiment, he does say it's like there is a need for Sherlock Holmes, there is always a reason why we need Sherlock Holmes here, which I do like, even if it's not really sentiment with Mycroft, it is, necessity, basically. And that was going to be the basis of Exile, but that didn't end up happening. I wrote down the deal. So the deal was, get into Appledore, which, okay, how did they pronounce it? I need to hear this.
A few minutes later.
Show us. Show you Appledore.
Okay. Alright, it's almost how I spelled it. I always want to get spelling. Alright. I wrote literally just Apple Door, but it's D-O-R-E. Gotcha. Finally. That took way too long to figure out how a word is spelled. So yeah. Appledore. Which I guess we were talking about the deal first. The deal was interesting, which, this does seem to be a recurring thing with Sherlock, is that he does sort of have to improvise at the end, Like, there always seems to be something that he doesn't plan for. And in this case, which I don't know how you plan for this, but in this case, it was the fact that Appledore wasn't physical. It was all in his head, which I have to assume then that everything with his eyes was in his head too, Which, that was a good trick. They make you think it's his glasses, but it's not his glasses. And then they make you think it's his eyes, but wait, it's not his eyes. He's just thinking that, It's just how he views the world, It's nothing special. So yeah, Appledore was his mind palace, which is a very good twist. I do like that, and it relates to, what we have seen with Sherlock since, at the very least, since they name dropped it in The Hounds of Baskerville. So I do like that. It ties, some, all this stuff together, and that is pretty convenient. It's all in his head. So what do you do about something that's just in his head? You kill the head, at least. Well, that was Sherlock's idea at the last second. Which I was also kind of hoping that, since I was kind of hoping that, he said, like, okay, well, there's a GPS tracker in the, in the laptop, and so that will allow Mycroft to show up there. I was kind of hoping that maybe he disabled it, but I guess that was wishful thinking, which he couldn't have disabled it, because to him, he was going to find Appledore, and then once he did find that, then, he could be arrested, or they can confiscate everything, or whatever, do what they do, So, but it just didn't work out that way. But they did have one last solution after. Man, this guy, he's such a prick, I have to say. Like, just just him just being like, this is what I do, I just flick. This is what I do to countries, He's just flicking John's face. Like, I'm surprised John didn't kill him, honestly. But then, I'm so glad, like, this is the first time, like, I'm figuring these things out, like, 5 seconds before they happen, Because that's the thing, is about, well, okay, I feel like a minute before the reveal of Appledore is when I was like, oh, it's all in his mind. Like, it's not a real thing, it's in his mind. And then about 5 seconds before Sherlock grabs the gun, I was like, wait, Sherlock made sure that John brought his gun so he can just get the gun and kill him. And then he did do that. It's the last thing he could do. So, which, luckily, the two of them, weren't, they weren't found guilty of high treason, at least. But Sherlock was going to be exiled, which is an interesting way of doing that. You know, he's a murderer, but you sentence him to exile. Which I guess maybe that happens more for, you know, higher up people, but it's like, what if that was just like a thing, like all murderers just got exiled, you know? That would suck, you know? Because, first off, no country would want to take our murderers, and we wouldn't want to take their murderers, you know? It goes both ways. No one wants to, you know, exile their murderers to other places, so that's why the prisons exist. But you can't throw Sherlock in a prison, so yeah, he was arrested and sentenced to exile, where he was going to work on the MI6 stuff until Moriarty came back. Moriarty is back, which is just crazy. So I guess he'll take up the remainder of the show, which that's the thing. We only have 4 episodes left of the show. Now, I don't think actually, from what I can tell, the show, and you guys can help me out with this in the comments, but the show hasn't ended. It just hasn't come back. Is that right? Like, they could come back for a 5th season. Am I correct about this? And I don't really know too much about it, but from what I can tell, it's not that the 4th season is the final season. It just is the latest season, and they just haven't made another one. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I also know that, yes, there is a Christmas special that we are going to watch before we start up season 4 officially, and we will be watching that next time. Don't you worry about that. I guess that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I can talk about for this episode. It was a great episode. I really enjoyed it, and I am kind of glad Magnussen is a one and done, because he's not as good. He's not as good as Moriarty. He's an interesting villain, you know, even if he doesn't call himself a villain. But you know, he definitely was interesting. You know, just the whole idea of just it's all blackmail, and then it's all in his head, you know, and you know, the twist with Mary I thought was really great too. You know, because you would not, at least I didn't see that coming. Maybe you did, I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, this was a really great episode, and I really enjoyed it, and I am very curious to see where we are going next time. But yeah, that I think is pretty much it. I am curious to see, once again, because for some reason I'm going to repeat myself, I'm very curious to see where we're going in the final 4 episodes, and yeah, it would also be interesting if season 4 ends on another cliffhanger. That's the thing. I feel like it's going to end on a cliffhanger, and there's not going to be any more show. You know? I don't know. Yeah. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Sherlock reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.